stay safe and stay informed, and adapt to the change, and upskill yourself while you are spending your time with families. You can also take out some time to upskill yourself and be the change you want to see in the world. That's Mahatma Gandhi's
Correct.
words,
Definitely.
I would like to say.
Hello and welcome to a whole new episode of Engati CX. I'm your host Kimberly, and today we have a technology expert with us on the show. But before I introduce you to our guest, allow me to introduce you to the magic of Engati. Engati is the world leading multilingual no-code digital CX platform available across 14 channels with 45,000 solutions created over 187 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as the top platform by inc.com, Tech World, CIO, and many others. We run the Engati blog, video channel, and the Engati CX podcast, receiving upwards of 400,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest, Rakesh Goel is the Senior Director of Capgemini. As an ADM Next Ninja with 20 years of experience, he consults many next generation ADM and AMS services and has contributed to the acceleration of digital transformation, business value chain, innovation, etc. He has worked on the integrated enterprise products for customers all over the world, including the US, Europe, APAC, and more. So, welcome to the show, Rakesh.
Hello everyone. So nice introduction. So thanks Kimberly for arranging this particular session, and I will be able to share some of my thoughts, some of my experiences with you during the session.
Well, that's great. But before we dive into our interview with Rakesh, don't forget to subscribe to Engati and tap the bell icon to get access to new exclusive content coming from thought leaders around the globe. So,
Sure.
Rakesh, let's start with our first question. Let us
Yes.
know what has been the driving force for acceleration of sales processes that rely on self-service techniques.
Okay. A very nice question, and a very broad question, I can say, because usually sales processes are applicable differently to different industries, as well as whether customer base that you are dealing with, whether they are enterprise customers or consumers. So I assume, and then I will take an example of a consumer-driven businesses where exactly the sales processes, um, they see the changes that are required according to the current market situation, as well as to deal with the pandemic, right? So to answer with, so there is a pre-COVID and post-COVID digital channels that were available. So pre-COVID channels, I can say, was more youth friendly, and youth were using them much more than anyone else, right? Whereas in post-COVID scenario, post-COVID era, these digital channels are being adopted by all walks of life, right? So we see a drastic change in consumer behavior over here, in dealing with, as well as in adapting to the self-service sales techniques. And the sales are getting accelerated because consumers have adopted this change by, I can say, by force, because earlier it was more of a link with a smartphone channel only. But now, when everyone in a family is using the digital devices, including desktops, as well as mobile devices, significantly higher on per day basis. So they are able to even make their purchase decisions smartly using the self-service digital channels. And I can say that businesses who have adopted these newer ways of say digital channels, or the self-service channels, they are way ahead compared to the businesses who are not able to adapt to this new change, or they are not able to integrate this self-service channels in their businesses,
Correct.
right? And another thing I want to add is that self-service platform is it should not be adopted without having taking into consideration um, various features that it provides. So companies have to diligently look at the features, the underlying technologies, as well as what kind of, say, popular social channels it
Correct.
supports,
Yes.
right? So to me, the acceleration of sales would definitely be seen if you adopt a very good and proven self-service channel for your business.
Okay, right. I think I completely agree with you, Rakesh. So now, since you spoke about post-COVID situation with the technology, we would like to know how is this technology resolving the supply chain challenges for healthcare industry in times of COVID-19?
Okay, so see, healthcare industry is a very interesting industry because it deals with consumers as well as enterprises. I
Correct.
can say, because in healthcare you have life sciences, you have say health insurance also, but we will focus only on, say, the provider channel of healthcare, right? So in the provider channel, the healthcare industry is dealing with two front war currently. One is the inpatient say handling, as well as the remote patient handling, because earlier remote patient handling was very significantly low in pre-COVID era, but during COVID, where doctors are also taking precaution in terms of dealing with patients directly, so they are opting for remote teleconsultations, right? So from the supply chain perspective, I have to consider the supply chain of medical supplies. I have to consider the services that they provide, all of them together, right? In healthcare, we have to look at the supply chain from multiple aspects. One is the services aspect, as well as from the medical supplies aspect, right? There was a significant dependency in healthcare earlier to specific suppliers group, as well as specific countries from which their supplies used to come.
Uh-huh.
And in pre-COVID era, it was kind of a accepted model. However, in post-COVID, the supply chain has been hit very badly, and during the start of this particular pandemic, almost all the countries, almost all the healthcare service providers, they were scrambling even to get masks for their healthcare frontline workers, right? So it has exposed the critical path of the supply chain in the healthcare, right? And so healthcare industry has overcome that. Governments also helped in setting up the manufacturing units in very short span of time, and bringing in everyone together in terms of the suppliers, the material, as well as the knowledge that is required to even manufacturing them, right? So supply chain has now been distributed rather than just focusing only on one single country. And one more point I would like to add is that technology is playing a very significant role in making sure that whatever, say, tele health services I was talking about earlier,
Correct.
as well as in the supply chain and various other services, the cloud services, AI, analytics, big data, they are playing a very important and critical role in dealing with the situation.
Right. Now, also we have cybersecurity as also being a very important critical role, right, in healthcare as of now. So, when according to you is the right time to begin implementing the cyber training approach to avoid stagnation? By what means can this be achieved?
Okay, so cybersecurity was always critical earlier as well, and it is more critical now during the pandemic, when uh, most of your workforces are working remotely, they are working from home, as well as they are tend to use their personal devices as well sometimes to access the official data, right? From say healthcare perspective, if I look at the most critical part in healthcare is the personal data, right? So where patients' data is being exchanged over WhatsApp channel or over the telecom channel, right? So if say this data access that has been done using the very conventional communication channel like WhatsApp or like regular say chat bots, right? If say security is not placed sufficiently in them, then there are very high risk of getting that personal data going into the public domain. And cyber criminals are also I can say that one step ahead, and they are taking advantage of this particular pandemic, and they are trying to do all the they are trying to take all the say newer ways to steal the personal data and then taking advantage of that personal data to attack say individuals, right?
Correct.
So in healthcare, though compliances are also there in place specific to some countries, I can say, not in all the countries across the world. So however, this cyber security is applicable to all of them, whether it is part of the compliance or whether it is outside the compliances.
Correct. Yes. I think security is something that has always been very important. Now that we have like an outbreak, and there are a lot of things that we hear that people are misusing information for for whatever reasons. But then, how do you think can we, on a personal level, can keep ourselves secure?
Okay, at personal level, diligence as well as to be well informed about the dangers that are there of say cybersecurity events. So sharing specifically from say organization perspective, whether it is a healthcare organization or any other industry organization. So they have to train their employees well on both the aspects: how to use the security channels, how to use the security uh, tools that has been implemented in their say professional devices or whether it is in personal devices, as well as sharing the examples or the events that has occurred recently, sharing with them as an example that how exactly cyber criminals um, are attacking individuals and how they have to be vigilant about it.
Correct. Yes, I completely agree with you, Rakesh. So, tell us about the 3R strategic framework and how can businesses benefit from the same?
There is one more point I would like to say discuss on various steps that, for example, has been taken by IT companies to help the organization to deal with the situation. So we are calling it as a 3R strategic approach, 3R IT strategic approach. One is the response, which in terms of say business continuity, how exactly we are helping customers first deal with the pandemic and then helping them to run their businesses smoothly. Whatever say current services what they are providing, how to run it smoothly. The second part of the 3R strategy is restore, where we help businesses to be resilient and take corrective steps, how to say retrain their teams, how to rework on their business processes, how to take care of their employees who are in stress. If say they are working from home, how to help them in dealing with the stress of working from home, and keeping the customer informed about the upcoming processes, changes, and as well as regulatory compliances that are there to readjust the business. The third part of the 3R strategy is the relaunch, where we are helping businesses to identify the business growth areas that has come up during the pandemic, because it's a big change that we are going through currently, and there are new business streams that have opened up, and various industries have to tap in those new business streams and then bring in the services which consumers would like to spend time with or would like to spend their money in, right?
Correct.
So we are working on their relaunch business growth strategy as well. So the 3R strategy um, uh, uh, in Capgemini is about the response that we have given, the restore the business, as well as relaunch the business to address the new business streams. So this is the 3R strategy that we have developed, and we are systematically making our customers aware about it, as well as helping them in sailing through this pandemic times to help them grow their business even during the challenging times.
Anything else you want to leave our audience with?
As you have asked about the message that I would like to leave with the audience,
Sure.
is that stay safe and stay informed, and adapt to the change and upskill yourself while you are spending your time with families. You can also take out some time to upskill yourself and be the change you want to see in the world. That's Mahatma Gandhi's
Correct.
words,
Definitely. Yes.
I would like to say, right?
Correct. Yes, we completely agree with you, Rakesh. Thank you so much, Rakesh, for giving us your time. Your insights were really valuable, and I know our audience is going to enjoy this interview. We'll be back with a new episode with a brand new expert soon, so stay tuned, and we'll see around you for the next one.
Okay. Thanks to you, Kimberly.
Thank you so much. It
Sure.
was a pleasure talking to you.
Sure. Me too.